Now, we know that Eubank Jr. likes to troll his opponents. And for me, he's really coming into his element now as far as his troll game. And you can see it here in this DM exchange he had with Liam Smith recently. Now, according to what is said in the conversation, it would appear as though Liam Smith is the one who initiated the conversation. Maybe he was triggered by something Eubank Jr. had said, or maybe he felt like he could get under Eubank Jr.'s skin. Who knows? In any event, Eubank Jr. responded by posting this video in the conversation, and many of you will have seen it. It's all over YouTube. I think even Sky Sports posted it on their YouTube channel. And it's a video of Eubank Jr. cooking a beef steak. Of course, Liam Smith's nickname is Beefy. So he's cooking a beef steak, and he's basically telling Liam Smith, this is what's going to happen to you on fight night. I'm going to season you and cook you. And you can see him at the end doing his best Salt Bae impression. So if you have a look at the way Liam Smith responded, he said, "Boss Bant's crazy div." Eubank Jr. said, "It may seem like banter now, but once that bell goes and the cooking actually begins, you won't be laughing, trust me." Yo, he's taken what his dad originally said. Remember that clip where I think they were talking to James DeGale, Eubank Sr. and Jr., and Sr. was there saying, "We're going to cook you." I've got the kitchen and he's got the utensils, or I forget which way around it was, but it was a funny clip of Eubank Jr. and Sr. Anyway, Liam Smith responded by saying, "I can't wait, don't worry." Eubank Jr. says, "Medium or well done." Bloody it is then. Yo, this guy's something else. Obviously, Liam Smith acted like he's getting into it. You can see here he says, "Are you that nervous that you're still trying to get under my skin?" And Eubank Jr. responds by saying, "I was under your skin long before this, mate. Everyone sees it." And finally, last page of the conversation, Liam Smith says, "Chris, if that's what you think, you're way off, mate. But let's just wait and see. We're here now, not long to go." Eubank Jr. says, "It's what I knew all along with everyone else, or what I know all along with everyone else." Or, excuse me, let me remix that. I'm reading it wrong. "It's what I know along with everyone else. You ain't fooling anybody with your silly little laughs. People see right through that. I'm in your head. Accept it like you're going to have to accept the cooking you are about to receive in a couple of weeks' time." And Liam Smith says, finally, "You're hoping you're in my head. You couldn't get in my head. You're not clever enough. You're a game hungry. You know what? Like I have told you before, I can't wait, trust me." And then Eubank Jr. says, "You slid in my DMs, then claim I'm not in your head. A delusional fool, if ever I saw one." So there you go. That's the exchange between the two. Will this make any difference to the fight? You know, is it going to be a situation where Eubank Jr.'s pre-fight trolling is going to give him a better chance of winning? I don't think so. And I say that because Liam Smith has been around too long. He's too much of a veteran. And even though I do think Eubank Jr. irritates him, I don't think that's going to massively impact the way he fights in the ring. I think that Liam Williams was more that kind of character. He's a more hot-headed character than Liam Smith. And I think the pre-fight stuff did bother Liam Williams more than it's bothering Liam Smith. That's just my personal view. Liam Smith, once he gets in the ring, he knows what to do. He knows his routine, the routine that he goes through every time he steps in there. And I don't expect him to come out like all guns blazing with reckless abandon. No, he's a methodical fighter. And just to speak about the styles for a second, Liam Smith is probably the best pressure fighter that Eubank Jr. has fought from a technical perspective. He's not the biggest or the strongest or the hardest punching, but I think he's the best technical pressure fighter. His distance, his range control is quite good for a pressure fighter. He knows when to step in the pocket. He knows when he needs to stay on the outside and, not rush in too much. He's looking at what his opponent is doing and what his opponent's trying to set him up for. He keeps that defense very, very tight. And he has a good jab as well, a very well-timed jab. Now, he can start a little slow, Liam Smith at times, and Eubank Jr. has got this reputation of being a fast starter. So the early rounds are going to be interesting. Liam Smith certainly can't afford to give away too many of the early rounds to Chris Eubank Jr. because he is athletic enough, if he chooses, to stay away and just not allow Liam Smith to get close enough. He's got the height, the reach, he's fast. So he may be able to do that once he gets off to an early lead. So I think it's important for Liam Smith to maybe start a little faster than normal. You don't have to be, as I say, reckless, and it's not advisable to be reckless, but you don't want to allow Eubank Jr. to just get off the way that Liam Smith did to a good early start, right, where you're ahead on the cards. So, yeah, that's what I see from a stylistic perspective. I think Liam Smith's jab is going to be key. Eubank Jr.'s had issues with jabs for his whole career. Billy Joe Saunders' jab gave him issues. Of course, George Groves' jab. Now, obviously, Liam Smith is not as big as those guys, but I still think that with the timing, he can make the jab a factor. So, that's for him to try and do. And as far as Eubank Jr. goes, I saw the Behind the Ropes video on the Sky Sports Boxing YouTube channel. And Roy Jones was explaining, and by the way, they showed Eubank Jr. sparring, and Roy Jones was there at ringside. And Eubank Jr. wasn't boxing. He was going forward in his old style, attacking, pressuring, putting the shots together, uppercuts, body shots, very, very aggressive. And then after the spar, Roy Jones explained that the plan was never to change Eubank Jr. from being a come forward aggressive fighter into being a pure boxer. The plan always was to expand his skill set, but when it's appropriate, he can go back to his old style. And that's what I said all along with regards to him hooking up with Roy Jones. I don't really see it as he's abandoning his old style. He's just adding to his old style or his existing style. And that's what Roy Jones Jr. said. But where some people could counter that, and I will concede this, I think Chris Andre is of this view. Where Chris Andre countered this is he said, well, he thinks it would be better if Eubank Jr. improved himself as a pressure fighter and focused himself more on that, basically, on improving his pressure fighting skills. And that would actually pay dividend more than trying to expand his boxing ability, his boxing vocabulary, so to speak. So, yeah, I take that on board. Maybe that's right. Maybe it isn't right. I don't know, because we'd have to see Eubank Jr. actually with a trainer who's going to expand upon his pressure fighting skills and then see the results that come from that. And then we could compare it to what he's done with Roy Jones, but I do definitely concede that could be a possibility, that it might actually have been better for Eubank Jr. to just improve himself as a pressure fighter, improve his head movement and footwork coming forward and all that kind of thing. And maybe that would have been a better road to go down. I don't know, but as it goes, he's decided to change. And I don't think this is a bad change. So what I will say about my position is I think it's better that Eubank Jr. has expanded his boxing skill set with Roy Jones rather than staying exactly as he was. So in my view, he had to do something, because every time he stepped up, he was losing to these boxers. So either you seriously improve your pressure fighting ability or you seriously improve your boxing ability. Because if you stay as you are, you're going to keep failing once you step up. That's my view on it. And he's chosen to go down the road of improving his boxing ability to go along with what he already had. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. Give me your 2 cents in the comment section below.